Perfect. So, I think I have been able to successfully share the presentation. Touchwood. नहीं नहीं दिख रहा है. Yes. Okay. Good. So we are now going to be seeing the role of TPA and especially how the COVID has impacted the role of TPA.
So dialysis.
Oh, you want to learn dialysis first today? Okay.
Sure, sir. We can do it later also. Not a problem.
I thought that I'll keep dialysis for the next medical session.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So, role of TPAs is something which we are starting right now. So, third-party administrators, TPAs, it's basically the organization which is what I'll say intermediary between the insured person and the insurance company. So, they function on behalf of the insurance company, but their more responsibility is towards the insured. How the insured can be given more happiness, more satisfaction, more pleasure. So until 2001, what used to happen is the insurance companies were not having these doctors on their payrolls. They did have certain panel, and mostly the market was of the public sector insurance companies. So the insured persons used to have a lot of hassles. They had to do so much of documentation, submit physically. The agent used to be harassed, and then there used to be unethical practices, cut business. The agent used to keep something. The certain officials from insurance companies, it is said, they used to keep something, and then the claims used to be paid, then check dispatches. So all such things were there, and to top it off, the rejections, the disallowances, they used to create a lot of grievances. And being a democracy, hassles of the citizens of India is something, if they continue, it can even change the governments. So fearing that, and considering the drastic situation which India was in and we were into license rats completely, the privatization as a move had started. And then Insurance Regulatory Development Authority was also established. And they thought that what can be done better, what can be done best in the interest of the policyholders. So it is said that Dr. Nayan Shah, just keep this name in mind if in future you are able to meet this great personality anytime in your life. He was a pioneer. He was the one who was having all this knowledge. He had seen the functionings of the health management organizations, HMOs, and the PPOs in the US. So, similar concepts could be implemented in India, is what was clearly established, and that is when IRD gave the permission to start the third party administrators. So, basically, insurance is a contract between two parties, the insurance company and the insured. So someone who is going to be doing an administration of this contract between the insured person and the insurance company was the third party, and that is why the name third party administrator. So in US or other locations, you may find they call as HMOs, PPOs, because those were the specialized roles. But here, the primary intention of having a TPA in those times was to just help administration of this health portfolio of the insurance companies. So that is how in 2001 the concept was established, and then it has evolved over the period of time, and it's now no longer only administration of the contract but also health services completely. But in either case, it is still a B2B business only. B2C is not allowed. B2B means one organization to another organization, and B2C means organization to directly a customer. So B2C is not allowed in the TPA industry as of now. So they can function only for organizations which are insurance companies or state governments. Even private companies who are having captive insurance services, they are not allowed to engage TPAs. So that was something which had come out with as a revision in 2016 as well. So the basic role of a TPA is to function as intermediary. And The objective is better services to policyholders. So that is how TPAs have come into India. Many companies who could understand the potential took up the licenses, and that is why you will find that MD India is one of the earliest TPAs to have this license. Our license number is 005. 007 होता तो हम बोलते थे bond, but we are 005. So ours was the fifth license to be approved in those days, and that is how TPA started functioning. But again, it was a slow transmission or transition. Another reason for the TPAs was the expertise which was missing from the insurance companies, the PSU insurance companies. They did not have softwares, they did not have medical manpower, they did not have management skills, and they had a lot of red tapeism. So all this would have resulted in the insurance sector remaining where it is and not going to each and every person. So the TPAs were brought to provide all these four things. One, medical expertise. Two, better management skills. Three, softwares, technologies. And fourth, removal of the red tapeism. And that is something which has been achieved by TPA, and even today, that is the primary role of a TPA. I'm using the word primary role. It is not the most important role, it is still the primary role. There are other roles which have been added up, which we'll be seeing in further subsequent slides today. इस level तक do you have any questions about how TPS came up or what TPS are supposed to do? Does anyone have any question about it?
No, sir.
Okay, great. So it means that you people are well versed with what TPAs are supposed to be. So let us understand what is the role expected from a TPA. So from an insurer angle, if you see faster and focused claims management, because finally insurer wants the claims to be processed कि भाई जल्दी हो जाए, हमारे पास हेडेक ना हो, the person should not keep following up with us, and they have to be properly managed. There should be good focus, error should not happen, unnecessary deductions, hassles, all those should be prevented. The manpower should be expert, focusing on their role only. So that was a very basic expectation. Second, the overhead costs and the claim management cost both has to come down. So when I say claim management cost, definitely it has got to come down, because up till then they used to refer to specialists and pay on a per claim basis, and that used to be very costly. So the TPAs were expected to start functioning, bring in technology, and reduce the claim management cost. And that is why the initial services were started with 5.5% of premium, which now today, let me share unofficially, officially for certain groups, certain insurance companies, has come down to as low as 1.5% to 2%. So the TPAs have succeeded in reducing the cost of claim management. And simultaneously, insurance companies have also looked at reduction of overhead costs. So there are overhead costs: business generation, business management, agent handling, customer handling, even if there are no claims, giving ID proofs to the customer. So even those costs were supposed to be reduced by the TPAs. Third expectation is highly trained claim administrators, or I'll use the word adjudicators. Now that we have understood in the previous lecture what is adjudication. So the TPAs are supposed to have a complete team of trained adjudicators who understand adjudication, who understand how to handle the claims, how to administer the claims. Fourth, improved control over claim outcomes. Now, just paying a claim or rejecting a claim is not good enough. There are also associated other activities which are happening. queries are asked, unnecessary queries are asked, same document asked again and again. So all such outcomes have been in the disservice category to the insured persons, and so the insurers have expected better control over the claim outcomes. Something which is not payable has to be not payable, something which is payable has to be payable, a complete improvement. Next, provision of cashless service. Now this is something was one of the, okay, I forgot to add in the previous slide, an important aspect. The insurance companies were not in a position to understand what hospitals are, what hospital functioning is, how to negotiate costs with them, how to create a network wherein cashless can be given. So the TPA's objective was to improve the services. They also had to bring about cashless services. And that is why even today, one of the important parameters of selection of TPAs by many corporates and even assignment of new business to TPAs or change of business for TPAs by insurance companies is what is their network strength and how much is the cashless services generally available. Let me share something here about MD India. We have been pioneers, and the proof is that today we are an organization with over 8,000 manpower, of which over 1,000 are doctors working with MD India. See the kind of medical manpower. We sometimes, when we are going in for business presentation, we say we are proud to be the second highest recruiter of doctors after Government of India. Because all these doctors are on our payroll. There could be hospital chains, but even they don't have so many doctors on payroll as we have. That is the kind of quality and trained manpower we have generated over the years. And when it comes to networking, today only we were having one presentation and we saw and told them how we have got agreements with over 19,000 healthcare providers in place, of which more than 9,800 are for cashless under Mediclaim itself, and over 3,500 for giving health checkups. You go to any city in India, you will find at least one hospital which is working with MD India. That is the depth. And again, region wise, there are other TPAs which are very strong. So if you go to East India, you will find the GHPL which is very strong there. Or you go to North and you will find that Vipul and Raksha has got good control. In South, historically, Mediassist and Vidal were very strong. Now, other TPAs including MD India have overtaken them. That is another story. But even region specific strength and weaknesses in networks are available. And that is what determines the future of the industry. Because today no one wants to spend out of pocket. I will pay, then I have to submit the claim, then there will be question, then I have to answer, then the payment will get approved, then it will come to my bank account. No. Today the industry is dictated by the consumers, and consumers say, मैंने पैसा दिया पॉलिसी लेने का, I have paid premium, I won't pay the claim. You pay the claim, I want cashless. That is the voice of the consumers today. And any mistakes which happen in cashless result in reduction in the insurance business. And especially after IRDA has permitted for even retail customers to select TPA, many TPAs have seen a reduction in renewal of the insurance policies by retail policyholders to them. The policy is renewed with the insurance company, but they are changing the TPA because someone of the relative या someone has told them इस TPA ने हमको cashless के वक्त तकलीफ किया. And that is why cashless is the biggest and most important team of a TPA or an in-house health insurance company who are doing it in-house. Most important, and that is why it functions 24/7. It has maximum manpower. It has maximum cost allocation from an organization. Because this is the necessity of the customers, and this determines how much the business is going to survive, succeed, or fail. Coming to the next objective from insurers is they want to safeguard the customer relationship. As I said, it should not happen that because of your processing, the customer is unhappy and he ports the policy to some other insurance company. Or the claim ratio is so bad that the current existing insurance company has to renew the policy with a higher premium. So the relationship is spoiled. So safeguarding customer relationship is also an expectation from a TPA, and they have to achieve it through their service standards, through their technology, through the empathy which their employees have for the patients at the time of need. And so you will find all TPAs, and I'll touch wood. MD India is the TPA where in the training when the doctors are recruited, more than 20% of the time training is on your soft skills, on patient management, on empathy development. And that is why MD India pure doctors are the best in the nation, because they look at it as a service to the patient. And so mistakes are less, and we are the best administrators. Next is protection of brand reputation. Go to mouthshut.com and you will find so many complaints against TPAs, insurance companies. Or go to any websites. Now, if the brand is damaged, then your business goes down. And the perfect example for that would be Reliance. At one point of time, Reliance ADA, that is Anil Ambani's group, it was valued higher than Mukesh Ambani's group, Reliance Industries. But the moment the brand started getting diluted, mistakes happened. It has affected all the businesses, and the valuation has gone to a level wherein Mr. Anil Ambani has said in a court in London that he is bankrupt. Two brothers, one concentrated on brand, concentrated on reputation, taking calculated risk, and another withering away everything, not caring for their reputation. Live example. Or you go to insurance industry, New India Assurance, Oriental Insurance, United Insurance, National Insurance, all four came up together because they were controlled by government, and all smaller insurance companies को merge करके ये बनाया गया था after the nationalization. While New India concentrated on brand building, brand imagining, positioning, other insurance companies did not concentrate so much. And that is why you will find that certain insurance companies are having a liquidity issue now. So building a brand and ensuring its reputation is very important. And if now administration is going to be done by the TPS, that responsibility is of the TPA. And last but not the least, control of possible frauds. Human nature, पैसा चाहिए, जैसा मिले पैसा चाहिए. So all ethical, unethical means are used for documents created, excess billing done to get more money, and more money to the persons mean less profit to the insurance companies, and it means higher premiums in future, so losses to the public and losses to the nation. So control of all these frauds is very important if you and me have to renew our policies at lower premium in future. And that is the responsibility of each and every citizen of India and each and every employee who is working in the insurance and healthcare industry. So TPAs were expected to deploy manpower, to deploy systems which will prevent all such episodes. So these were the expectations from a insurance company point of view. So now let us understand what the insured are expecting. See, I today have an opportunity to decide whether I would like to have the TPA service or I don't want to have a TPA service. That choice has been given. And if I don't go for a TPA service, then I can save my 5.5% of premium. So why does a insured still select a TPA? First and foremost, 24 by 7 services. An insurance company will not work 24 by 7, but a TPA will work 24 by 7 services. So रात को 1:30 पे भी मुझे जरूरत पड़ी तो आई विल बी हैविंग एन एक्सेस टू द टीपीए पर्सोनेल who will service me my necessity. So that is my first and foremost requirement. Second, enhanced facilities. This relationship is not only of claim do paisa lo, claim do paisa lo. No, this is about my health, our health, family's health, society's health. So what all facilities will the TPA provide which an insurance company is not able to give? Will I be getting health education? Will I be getting health checkups? Will I be getting health facilities? Will I be having IT services which will help me with easier reach to doctors? All enhanced facilities. Definitely cashless hospitalization and today cashless OPD also I will say now. If not today, by 2025. So I don't want to spend money if I go to the hospital. I want the insurance to pay directly. So I selected TPA because they have this agreement with the hospitals. So that is my objective of having a TPA. And then reduction in claim cost. Because claim cost reduction is in the interest of the insured person also. He may have a policy of only 5 lakh. And if first claim itself is going to consume 4.5 lakh, do you feel that the subsequent 11 months, 1 month, 2 days can be adjusted in the balance 50,000? What if there is another accident, another person suffers something? Difficult. So does it mean I pay out of my pocket? No, I don't want to do it. So I want the TPA to reduce my claim cost as well. Negotiate with the hospital and get my treatment done at reduced cost because that is in my interest. That also is an expectation from insured person. And then definitely value added services. Teleconsultations, case management, care management, health risk assessments, wellness services, Zumba, Dumba, Gumba, anything and everything. Whatever we think of. Today the insurance industry and TPS fight each other. हमारे पास 11 value adds and the other says I have got 12th value add. The fourth one comes and says, sir, I give 60 value add services. Because value add services is something which is now defining what the TPA would be, who the TPA would be for the policies and what the business will grow like. It's consumer's choice. And consumer is the owner of the market today and not the insurance companies. So services to the consumer, support to the consumer when the necessity arises at the time of hospitalization, less hassles in cashless, and you will be the best service provider. And that is why when the world was where all the overseas health insurances, overseas medical policies were serviced through outsourced agencies like International SOS, Europe Assist, and all those things. Bajaj Allianz took the conscious call that we will do even international health processing, claim processing in-house only. And under guidance of Dr. Sriraj Deshpande sir, I was heading that unit which created the international operations in-house in India. So persons in US, if they had any issues, they used to put up a call and we were able to handle from here, direct the persons to relevant hospitals and get the care to them. And it increased the travel insurance portfolio 4 times within 1 year. Because immediately the news spreads. The travel agents knew, the persons coming back, they give the feedback and the portfolio increase. That is importance of cashless services being of paramount importance and a unique selling point for any TPA. So touchwood क्या हो गया? Sorry. Yeah. So, you have any questions about the expectations before we go into the roles? Anyone has any questions? Because I think it was very easy and clear.
Yes.
So let us see. Yeah. Yes. Any question?
No, sir.
Yeah. No issues. Thank you. So let us now practically see what all works are done by the TPS. Now I am showing very, very small subset. The actual works are very, very large and more defined. Many tasks are there, but I have tried to summarize it in as simple format as possible. So first and foremost is administrative services, the insurance administrative services. So there it comes is claims administration, whether it is cashless or RI's reimbursement. So that has to be administered properly. That is the primary responsibility. Second is enrollment processing and member fulfillment. So insurance companies have sold the policies, but which are those persons who have got the policies? What will identify those persons? So all those have to be enrolled properly in a database against which the cashless or the reimbursement is going to process. So enrollment processing is a paramount important task. Whether a claim comes or not, your enrollment team always works and enrollment functions, and that is why it is important. Member fulfillment. So there could be addition, deletion of the members in the policy, in the corporate. So those tasks are important. This area also becomes an important area where TPAs like to have themselves segregated. Like out of over 25 TPAs in India today, only 2 TPAs have got online enrollment facility for group insurance customers. So they enroll, the corporate HR enrolls them directly to the software. The software talks to the insurance company, gets an endorsement, and it gets processed. Only 2 TPAs, just see. Even after over 2 decades of the industry being established. So these value add, these niche areas are being created over a period of time. Next aspect from administrative services is credentialing. Because finally you will have to have proper credentialization. Whether it is of the in-house doctors, employees or corporates, their members, their employees or retail policyholders, agents, intermediaries, bank assurance customers. So proper credentialing has to be done. Then there's medical coding and billing divisions, wherein the TPA have specified personnel who do the coding. Finally, database has to be created, proper database. Only this proper database is something which will help in future analytics and predictive analytics as well. So medical coding and billing is an important administrative service, and then billing the premium properly and collection of the service fees against that premium billing. All this come under the administrative actions. Then we have the network operations. नेटवर्क अगेन हियर स्टैंड्स फॉर द प्रोवाइडर नेटवर्क कि भाई हॉस्पिटल्स को पैनल पे लेना है, डॉक्टर्स को पैनल पे लेना है, डायग्नोस्टिक सेंटर्स का पैनल बनाना है. So all these are network operations. So there you have the networking, there you have the cost negotiations. How you can reduce the cost further, because reduction of cost is something which is expected by the insurance company as well as the insured person. Both want a reduction in the cost. So you have these doctors, you have these hospital experts who work in TPAs, who understand where the hospitals are having excess cost. They not only help the hospital to reduce their own cost, but have it transferred to the patients as well. So hospital experts. So network team also does the utilization management. Whether there is excess flow towards any hospital or low flow towards another hospital. How the admissions could be managed to hospitals where the costs are less. So generally the mom and pop clinics and nursing homes near our residents are having lower costs as compared to branded hospitals like say Ruby or Jahangir or Aditya Birla in Pune. Since we are sitting in Pune, I'm taking example of Pune. So how that utilization can be managed for different hospitals? Then readmission management. Are there hospitals where readmissions are required? What could be the protocols? Return to OT. How many times it is happening? That comes under network operations. And most important is fraud and abuse control. So ideally, there are it's a separate vertical nowadays where you have specialized fraud abuse controllers who are deputed. It's become a science in itself. So you have national vigilance directors, then you have deputy vigilance directors, and under them you have these investigators. And technology has additionally been involved into fraud and abuse control. So you have got MIS and analytic guys who go through the trades of utilization across the country, across the nation, across the portfolio to understand where is that deviation happening, to capture that deviation and have it reduced. Under contact center, customer care, the TPAs are expected to have member support services. So they run 24/7 customer care centers where you have toll-free lines, where you have IVRs, where you also have dedicated supports on proactive calling, outreach calling services. Besides calling, you have established support services through nowadays websites. There are TPAs and insurance companies who have got chatbots. You have email services and even WhatsApp business integration services nowadays. So all these member support services, anytime, anywhere you require anything, you establish a touch point with the contact center and the contact center will support. When we had this COVID-19 wave, we had a war room created wherein the contact centers were not only helping the persons with proper treatment but also enabling them with information where certain medicines or oxygens were available, beds were available. That is the call of duty of a TPA. And not only member, even the providers need to be supported. Because finally, the treatment is not being given by the TPA or the insurance company. It is being given by the hospitals. So antagonizing hospitals is never the duty of any TPA. It is a win-win partnership between the two, wherein the clinical expertise of the providers is supported with financial assistance by the insurance companies. So provider issues, provider problems, insured persons not accepting the decisions, all those have to be supported properly. Member retention programs. So what all can be done to retain the member, to have the policies renewed. And clinical helpness. Sometimes you need second opinions. Doctor has said you go for this surgery. Doubt है, करना नहीं करना है. So the TPA is supposed to help that clinical help desk. Yes, second opinion available. Yes, it is required, not required. If not required, what could be the ideal care plan? So all those come under the heading of the contact center services. Analytics, very important. Finally, whatever business you are management students right now, the objective of business, this question would have been asked to you by now, or you will come to you in your exams in future. What is an objective of a business? The objective of a business is profit. And profit could be a notional profit or it could be a increase in valuation. So for that, you need your proper analytical inputs for decision making. So data science is something which has become a separate streamline itself today. And MD India is the first TPA in the nation to have a dedicated analytics vertical with infographics and audits combined together. No other TPA even today is having this vertical. They have MIS teams, but not analytics teams. So having these kinds of analytics, utilization analytics, predictive analytics, trend analytics, what is happening where, how the pre-existing diseases are happening, all those things are handled by analytics verticals. Payment reconciliations. So you have expected the insurance company to pay whether it has gone to the customer or not. What is the feedback? Actuarial analysis. Because finally the plans have to be renewed. If the insurance company goes into losses, the TPAs will not be getting proper fees. So proper pricing of the plans is important and that requires actuarial analysis. So TPAs are supposed to be extending those services as well. And underwriting support also. What would be loss making? What could be profit making? Who is a higher risk? Who is lower risk? Pre-insurance medical services vertical goes actually into the medical diagnostic support services for underwriting. So all these come under the analytics services of a TPA. IT services, application development and support. Everyone needs to have a proper software. And not only software, nowadays everyone has got a mobile app also. Dedicated mobile apps. Co-branded mobile apps also in certain bigger group corporates. Technical supports, transaction management softwares, AI-based triggers. There has to be triggers. And something which is the need of the hour is your auto adjudication facilities now. And that is why in MD India you will not find an IT department. You will find a software and automation department. That is what it is called as in MD India. It's not an IT department. That is the need of the hour, and that is what the industry is asking, and industry is going to be provided by the TPAs. And then value added services, pre-insurance medical services, corporate relationship management, client servicing, fraud abuse controls, legal, medical records, blah blah. In fact, this is very less. If I were to show you something, but it would be a breach of confidentiality. 16, 17 value added services are created. So that is all the work that the TPAs are expected to do and they are doing. And only those TPAs who are doing it successfully are surviving the onslaught of privatization and the necessity and the expectations from the customers. Do you have any questions about what we have heard till now before we move further?
Sir, what was MRR?
Medical records room. MRR is medical records room. So
Sir, so as
basically,
insured, we don't get to know who the TPA is, right, or anything about it.
yes, the insured knows who the TPA is. That is the right. In fact, the insured has the choice to select the TPA today. So when you take a policy, legally, the insurance company is supposed to ask you which TPA you want. But by default, each insurance company office has got a TPA which is assigned as a auto TPA, and in 90% of the time the same TPA is being selected, especially by the agents. But wherever these servicing issues have been witnessed and they have come to be known, that time the insured persons are changing the TPAs in PSUs as well. For insurance companies which don't work through TPAs, there is no question of TPA selection. And
So
whoever
isn't
is
it a
your
conflict
TPA
of interest?
and whoever is your TPA is mentioned on your policy document as well. Yes, what was your question? Conflict?
Sir, I was saying, won't it lead to conflict of interest? Like, if I have some connection at TPA, I will prefer him over the other one.
Yes, but that is what the market has been created. So it's now open business, open market. When you did not have a choice, you were going only for BSNL. But the moment Orange came, Loop came, BPL Loop, people started understanding कि private में कितना अच्छा services होता है. And then BSNL started losing share, and then this Loop also closed subsequently. But then Tata Indicoms came, then Airtel came, then Jio has come now. So insured may have preference कि भाई ये मेरे relative का company है, मैं यही लूँगा. But if the services are not good, he will change it one day or the other. और if I have to make fraud, ये मेरा ही टीपीए, मेरे ही दोस्त का टीपीए, मैं यहीं से लूंगा, but then the analytics will capture that fraud. So it's now more of B2C choice given to the TPAs as well, and that is why you will find that one of the TPAs has started advertising on television also. Only one TPA has started advertising on television about their services. Even hoardings are created by the TPA across the city if you go and move around in the city nowadays. Because now everyone wants their TPA name to be known to the customers because they are going to be the ones who select the TPA. So it's not conflict of interest, it's a choice which is given to the insured persons by IRDA. अभी ये लव मैरिज होने वाला है, अरेंज मैरिज के दिन गए. No more arranged marriage nowadays. It's got to be love marriage. The consumer has to love the TPA. Otherwise, no more business for the TPA. Any more questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
So after these basics, let us see what COVID-19 has done now. Now what COVID-19 has done is, it has created problems for everyone. So even TPAs and hospitals, they have not been untouched. So the roles of TPA has become little more streamlined, more critical. So there is a need for expertise manpower, which COVID-19 has brought in the necessity. Because hospital may give this cocktail therapy, hospital may give that cocktail therapy, they may try plasma therapy, they may try chloroquine therapy. But what is recommended by ICMR or what is recommended by the DPC, what is recommended by the FDA, so only the experts can tell. So that expertise, clinical expertise, knowledge expertise is something which is a need which has arisen more out of COVID-19. Customer care services, very paramount importance. 3 a.m., 2 a.m., you get calls, I am having fever, not able to breathe, where do I go? And the customer care team has to respond, has to have that empathy, has to direct it to the proper location. It should not that he gives a name, the person goes there and he does not get admission. So customer care services became very important. If you don't care for your customer, then you will not have anyone to care for. Even your family will not be cared for because you will be losing your job. And that is why customer care is very important. And each and every employee of an organization has to be understanding customer care, has to have that empathy. And that is why training sessions at MD India, 20% of the time is more on customer care, more on empathy development, more on soft skills development. And so we have the best manpower which comes out of MD India. And this manpower within a year is taken up by other TPAs and insurance companies at double the salaries. We are proud of it that our employees go out at double, triple salaries. But we have this pipeline which keeps on giving these things. Another aspect which was necessitated by COVID was renegotiations for consumables. The number of usage requirements for consumables have increased tremendously after COVID-19. And consumables have got higher margins because they are not controlled by the DPC, neither the NDPA. And so the TPAs had to renegotiate the contracts with the hospitals for consumables so that their costs could come down and the overall claim costs could reduce. The TPAs had to upgrade their infrastructure for remote working. Initially, we used to show in our client presentation we have 2000 seater head office. We have 161 branch offices. We have BCPDR in place. Today, those 2000 seater means you don't have technology, sir, wherein your employees can work from their home. So you're not a good technologically advanced TPA. Sorry, we don't want you. That is the answers that corporates give nowadays. Because if you are technologically advanced, then you would be allowing your employees to work from any place, anywhere, anytime, with primary objective being hassle-free, instant service to the customer. And that is why all the TPS had to invest in infrastructure, upgrade, and make remote working with all the secure policies in place. MD India not only is ISO 9001 certified, but we are also 27,000 certified because we have the IT security policies in place. So all TPS have invested in it. And then advanced technologies for auto adjudication. The kind of incidences, the number of claims, they have doubled. The general historical incidences for hospitalization was somewhere around 8 to 9%. After COVID-19, it's gone to 18%. So not only are the insurance companies bleeding, even the TPS have had problems because more claims mean more manpower. And that is why investment started going for auto adjudication, how claims can be adjudicated by the machines themselves. So advancements and contactless working. Now we don't expect customers to come and give documents in our offices, or customers need not come to the TPA offices and fight with the TPA officials. No, contactless working, telemeetings, Zoom meetings, app meetings, completely contactless, face to face interactions. KYCs are today nowadays video KYCs. So all this was the impact of COVID-19, which has brought about a complete change, which has brought about a complete merger of all different silos in which the TPAs were functioning, because now everyone is on one single infrastructural platform and it is speaking to each other, speaking to the insurance company, speaking to the clients simultaneously. This was all impact of COVID-19, and it has also resulted into certain adaptations happening. So what were those adaptations? The claims used to be on physical documentation. XYZ report not available, so payment deducted. Now it is not so. Now everything is on scan basis. So you scan the document, you give it to the TPA or the insurance company, it is processed on that document and it is paid. Workload management had to be done. People were falling ill. They were not. They were also getting infected with COVID-19. Higher workloads was happening, so net workload per employee had increased. So how do we adjust that workload? How do we minimize the repetitive steps? Desk audits had to be started. Physical audits were difficult. Hospitals were not allowing the investigators to come to COVID wards. Neither were the investigators ready to go to the hospitals. So more of desk audits, more of documentation audits, more of utilization audits. The adjudicators had to try to minimize all risks. There could be honest mistakes. They had to be waived off, but there could be intentional deception as well. So adjudicators have learned to try to minimize these risks. Most common errors which has been found by after COVID-19 is insufficient documentation. So training for documentation, and then proactive calling, outreach calling. Whether a person is ill, not ill, the moment he has intimated, till the time his claim is paid to the his account, proactive calling was done, and it was a fight back to COVID-19. We had to deter, we had to detect, and we had to defend. And the TPS have succeeded in this fight back, and everyone in the government as well as the insurance industry is really accepting this fact that if it were not for TPA, health insurance in COVID 19 times would have had a huge hit. The outcry would have been uncontrollable. So these were few of the adaptations which we did, which the TPAs have done. Additionally, what the TPAs are doing is they have developed a collaborative approach. So they now understand the importance of data information sharing, sharing of the right type of data, and they work and fight against the unethical activity together. So we have in India established Insurance Information Bureau. So all data from the TPAs flows through them, and they are a repository, national repository of everything. Collaboration also happens internally nowadays. So different teams within the organizations talk to each other. There's ongoing process improvements. Communication has to improve between intelligence teams and adjudicators. Latest fraud trends and patterns are shared within the pricing models nowadays. So pricing models have changed, and that is something which the TPAs are supposed to be doing and doing. Industry collaboration widely within the industry. We are one of the TPAs, only TPAs I will say, even Touchwood today from 2007 onwards, which publishes a monthly newsletter focusing only on fraud and abuse claims detected in the industry in the previous month. And that is sent to each and every insurance official whose data is available in our database. Then our investigations, we have collaboration with range of organizations nowadays. Community is created which is dedicated to defeating the fraud and financial crimes. And daily contributions are going to the national database. And it's not within the insurance industry. Basically, fraud and financial crimes are issues. So data sharing is completely different verticals as well, such as Home and Family Welfare Department. And efforts are now on by the TPS to start a national fraud initiative which will bring together thousands of data sets with millions of records together. So, National Fraud Initiative is something which will happen very soon, and it will encompass not only insurance but even banking, finance industry as well. Health Family Welfare Department also will be a part of it. Some actions which the TPAs are supposed to do if they come across overbilling and fraudulencies. So the moment there is detection of suspicious transactions, the TPAs issue show cause notice, warning letters, temporary suspension is done of the providers. The payers have the right, payers, I mean to say the insurance companies, have the right to carry out detailed investigation, get documentary evidences, audit hospital records, visit premises, interview people, and report to the relevant repository. We have national vigilance directors and associate directors who are retired uh, commissioner of police, ACPs, I, officials of the Indian Police Services, IPS. That is how a strong team is developed. And the moment it is confirmed fraudulent act, there's de-empanelment and termination of agreements. There has to be recovery of equal amount or with penalty. Punitive recoveries, multiple times of fraudulent transactions have to be done on the advice and orders of the insurance companies. Again, reporting to the repositories, naming and shaming publication also is supposed to be done by the TPAs. TPAs are also supposed to report to the uh, Ministry of Economic Offences and the Medical Council of India, which now is the National Medical Council (NMC), and file FIRs as well, especially if patient is harmed or committed, the fraud is on an en masse level or large number of claims are involved. So these are also activities which the TPA is doing. So would like to stop here with an open forum. So it's just like today you are on that other side, wherein this doctor is saying that with robot assisted microsurgery, he'll not be in the same room, but still he'll have to hear the screaming. So insurance industry is screaming, the insured persons are screaming that they need support, that they need help, and it is now up to us how much knowledge we take, how much we contribute to the industry, and how we make this a successful initiative. And with professionals like you coming out of National Insurance Academy, partnering TPAs like us, joining insurance companies, taking this knowledge further, we hope a golden day will come when we can proudly declare that we are zero tolerance society and one of the best insured serviced nations across the globe. Thank you very much. I have this as an open forum if you have any questions on the topic which we have discussed today.
Sir, it was a great session.
Thank you very much. What I am doing is I'll you can also note down my email ID. So if you have any queries, you can shoot them to me anytime you want. So I'm always available whether you work anywhere, you have any questions. As and when I get time, I do respond to your emails as well as WhatsApp messages. So feel free to contact me anytime because finally we are all professionals and we are here to serve the nation and the industry together. If you grow, we also grow. If we grow, everyone also grows. So I'm just sharing my on the screen email ID and WhatsApp number. Yeah. Okay, I'm not getting an access here. So, I think even chat box is not enabled.
So,
So, yeah, okay, got it. Got the issue. Why I was not able to share this. Yes. Now it is visible if I'm not wrong. So you can note down if you want and you can touch base anytime you want for any kind of assistance from medical angle as well as insurance angle and I will be available for help. So thank you very much. With your permission, I would like to take leave now if there are no more questions. So can we end the session please?